Welcome to Warblog. This is part 2 of my second go of this game. So essentially, I've just sort of pretty much completed the Egyptian move. I've taken a bridgehead here and a rather meagre bridgehead there. So it's now the Israeli turn. Now, maybe one thing to put it into perspective is that they didn't have these features before, and so they've made very little additional ground in comparison to the last game, or even lost much in comparison to the last game. These are all additional sort of elements. So, but one thing that's been sort of as varied is the allocation of defensive forces along this line and the choice to engage in counter battery fire, because last time I actually went for element fire, firing at the infantry and the units as they were coming through. We've done some damage in certain locations. He's not depressed. He's at 4.1. That's right, because we've destroyed... Oh no, we haven't. 3.2. So again, I'm going to commit these two elements against that. I'm going to do it all sort of naturally, or as best I can. Now they're at depression 7, so they're actually not very good. So the counter battery fire is sort of working, but the thing is, because the counter battery fire is a bit odd, or the artillery fire is a bit odd, we should be able to still fire until we've actually eliminated the other units. So let's try. Okay, well, let's just make sure we do the one that we want. 3D. Okay. I think I've got that a bit wrong. Let's fire all these at this. Nice big number, could get some morale checks. Or Y against that. $10.2. You know what? I'm going to go for one more because we should could possibly get that one if we do well, but we should get 2 morale checks on these. Yep. Three AD. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to go one more. 4p. Okay, so there's some artillery there. Okay, well, let's go for this. Hasn't been touched yet. 0, 0, 0. Artillery in there as well. I'm quite enjoying this counter battery fire, just to sort of see what it can achieve. Got one. Okay, so that's counter battery fire. Now here, I think we've got a couple of options here. First off, in there, we've got artillery units. So I think we really want to sort of start moving this armour and some of this stuff in. It doesn't look like they're going to be reinforcing that soon. And I'm also going to reinforce this town. They don't have any engineers in there at the moment though, so that's sort of irrelevant. They can't be used. I mean, they could do it next turn, or maybe they could go 1-2, but they've got nothing to move directly in there. 1 minute. Okay, back. I was really getting to the habit of not really mentioning the fact that I'm going to have a cup of coffee or something, because all I have to do is sneakily pause it and unpause, and you probably wouldn't notice that I've gone for 5 minutes. Although maybe good to give a heads up for some sort of reason that I don't sound as though I remember where I was. Okay. Getting these engineers out, I don't think is going to be a problem at all. So let's just do it from the defences. With everything that's not depressed. So we're not going to use him, because I just want him to at least recover. This should be easy. Ooh, we eliminated him as well. Right, so I'm going to continue my strategy of moving things along. Move him there. Gonna move him there. To reload. It's the only time you really have to sort of reload. Because once you do that, you can't flick through the stack. I might be able to figure something out, but it's one of the glitches. It's not so much a glitch, but the way it's been for a long time. Move him out of there. It's a bit like that sort of game. You can only move one piece at a time. Okay, so we've now got that heavily defended. Here, well, they don't have a bridge head. That's what we've got a problem with. Did they attack into there last turn? I don't know. See, the thing is, if this had been the previous game, that would have been the hex that I would have targeted with my artillery, but I've spent my artillery on other things. So there's not really much that I can do other than just sort of try to double check that as many things are as defended as possible with as much as possible, because that's not very well defended there. We can bring him round. Should be able to get him in there. So because he's overstacked, we have to move 2 of these units out. So we'll move the 2. Why doesn't he want to move? Seem to have lost control of things with the mouse. Can't drag anything. The mouse has just suddenly stopped working. Let me see if I can figure this out. I don't know what happened there, but I should be able to move now. I went to another window and opened it up. Not too strong in there. Seems to have a problem now. A browser problem. I can move things but I can't click them. Oh no, he's got some armoured units, so that's not particularly strong. Okay, so what's gone wrong with the browser? Okay. Now we can't really do much, but we could possibly attack that with attrition. Let's see what that looks like. Fresh units, so that'll be 8, 15, 45, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 28, 30, 40. We could possibly get a 1-to-1 plus a 30% surround. Could possibly get a 2-to-2, possibly, but probably a 1-to-1. But what I'm going to do is attrition, and the attrition, to be quite honest, I don't know how the attrition works in the sense that I get the feeling it uses the same modifiers, the same calculations. It always seems to be fairly accurate, but I'm not certain of that. I'll show you what I mean. See there it said 1-to-1 odds, so that was presumably what we would have had. Unfortunately, with that, we've inflicted 2 damage, which is really good. But they're tough in there, but not if we keep doing that to them. And I think that's pretty much it. Now, as I said, I want to keep concatenating things. Try and push these further that way. Okay, well, let's see what the Egyptians make of that. Well, there's their helicopter units. Now, the reinforcements come on there, so we're going to put a line across here. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's just do it. You can always move around afterwards. Okay, so that's the northern blockade. Oops. I'm going to put a few units here actually, because they do seem to come on down here as well. Put 3 down here. Three along here, at least. The last time they got pretty much wiped out when the Israeli armour came on. But they still slow things down. Okay, so that's everything on. How many losses did we take? Nothing. 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 2. They should be able to recover. Most of this stuff should be able to recover. So it's quite irrelevant really. I mean, most of this stuff took a hit, but it can recover because it's only at 2. Now the air power. What do we want to do? Do we still want to focus on certain things? I mean, what are we going to do here? What we really need to do is extend this bridgehead. So for example, currently we've extended it to there. Ideally, we want to extend it maybe through to there or through to there. One of these 2 axes. If we can control these 2 axes, we can create a corridor through. This is going to be less defended, but there's not as many units in there. There's only a total of 5 defense, whereas here there's 12, 14, 16, 17. But they're fortified. I'm going to go for this, but I'm only going to spend half of, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I'm going to have 6 at the top and 7 at the bottom. So 7 air units down here. Now, I think we're going to continue using the artillery on their counter artillery. But I'm going to go 3 artillery on 3 airstrikes on artillery and 4 on here. Well, that's been painful. Aborted. Wow. So, I mean, after all of that, we've basically done no damage. 1, 0.4, and 0.5. Okay, well, the other 3 onto this artillery stack here. So we've done more damage there in one hit than we did in the other one total. We're out of the unit, which is nice. The artillery's still there. Okay, air power up here. Well, we've lost that bridgehead. And this one's looking tight. Let's go for 3 and 3 against each of them. Well, that was good. Managed to remove the artillery. Okay, so that armoured unit is still in good form. Okay, well, let's use all this anti-tank against these tanks, so this should be quite good. Why is he not available? 0.3. I'll pick up on this one. Two 2.3, 1.8. Okay. Okay. Well, we're going to have to start firing out artillery against these forts. 5.6. That's not what I was looking for. I was looking for the designation. 2D. Okay, so he's up to 4.6 and he's at 4.3. Strange because it's now stopped dragging. chose the wrong unit. Right. Put the map back to proper zoom. Might be having something to do with it. So we can attack into that. Yeah, can attack into that. So we've got lots of engineers in there. Okay. Tried to do some damage in there, but not a lot of result. He's at 3.8.2. Okay, we've got artillery next to fire down here and along the line. We've got to support these bases now, so we're going to do whatever artillery we can onto that. Well, maybe not all of it. Let's just do 2, no effect. 2.2. Let's do another one. Some artillery on this. 3 again. Not too bad. 4.4, 3.9, 10.4, 5.6. One more for luck. Yep. And the rest onto this. .9, 11.5, 6.8. Okay, I think we can maybe afford to attack that, although we can't really because we haven't got anything facing it. And you got what's in here. So they're worth about 6. These guys are going to be worth about 5. So this is going to be tougher. But we've got anti-tank. Let's see what we can do with that. The armor's the one we want to get out. $6.15. Is available. $5.6. 6.5 is good for this one. $9. Oh, okay. All that anti-tank I think they're still there, but we should be able to pile across there now. An exchange. Well, that was disappointing. It's going to make this attack all the more desperate. Do we want to make it? No. Let's go for an attrition just to see what it would have been. Oh, we got 2. That was worthwhile. Okay, so that's that. So it's a lot easier when the system's going at proper speed. We failed to make a bridgehead that turn, and it's the Israelis' third turn. They've still got to hold in, but what happened, I think, on the second turn, we made a mistake and they just walked out of some of these hexes. They've only taken 1, but it's a fairly critical one, and it would be nice to take it back. Now, I could start focusing my artillery on this stack. But I think I want to hold my resources and just really try and focus continually on this counter battery operation. Now we've lost a lot of artillery from this area. We've got some here. So 4E. Okay, well that wasn't bad, but it didn't do anything. Okay, so all this artillery on that, so that's 4I, 4K. Oh, wasn't very good at all, but at least we got something. So 4P against this. 4P, 4P. Whew. 7.7, 2.7, 4.6. Against this, let's put in 4V. Just these two. Five point 5.1, 5.3. Okay, so we'll do 4Y against that. Consider coming back to that. We'll get 4AI onto that first to see what happens, see whether we can commit this elsewhere. 4AI. Right, I'll do one more on that. Hopefully we should route something. Okay. Now the other two. My choice. What a choice it is. I'm going to do one on each. Perfect. Oh, got two on this one. I'll see how this goes. Well, gotta knock him out. Okay, so defense-wise, hmm, I'll do some things in reserve there. Okay, I think that's it. So the Egyptian turn is looking very, very tough. And what I'm going to do this turn is I'm going to allow myself a little more freedom to ensure we get a breakthrough somewhere, because I think it'd be fair to sort of carry out preliminary artillery all along the line, all along the strategic elements of the line, but then somehow sort of upon receiving intelligence of weaker spots to modify that. So I'm going to put a greater balance elsewhere, depending on where I feel that elsewhere should be. So basically I want to make some bridgeheads. We've got through there. So I'd like to okay, I know what I want to do there. Let's build a bridge in the northeast. Okay, that means now that we can attack that hex. That's not very strong. So I'm going to commit whatever artillery we can get onto that, which isn't going to be a lot. Or is it? Okay, I'm going to use half of this, 3. So we're taking out some artillery. Look at that, that's what we wanted. I'm going to use this one here, which is next to it. That's interesting because now he's got 1 infantry company in there, so let's put in 3 air power. We should be able to dislodge him. Not with no effect, we won't. Or 0.1. Or no effect. Okay, so they've been attacked, but with very little effect, obviously. But we've got anti-tank. Let's just pile whatever we can for that in there. They're really holding out. So they're now at 5.2, which isn't really much more than what they were. Let's just pile everyone in. DE. What was the odds? 3, so we only needed slight overkill, but I'd rather that. So we've got a beachhead now. Okay, so strategically we can follow on here and maybe attack that stack. So this is where the Egyptians are really going to start breaking through. What about here? What is the situation? 2 bridgeheads. Whatever artillery we can get onto that. Yeah, let's use it. Destroy the armour. And put in 3 aircraft onto that. Let's put in 4 because I want to really do this. So I'm using that artistic license I've mentioned I could by putting a bit more into somewhere. Got rid of that armoured element, which is good. Got rid of some artillery. So he's just got that. It's just down to the an infantry company again, and that was aborted. That was the anti-aircraft. So again, he's got an element in there at 3.3. See how much anti-tank we can get in there. 0.7, that's quite good, considering it's only a soft skin target. 0.1, that's what you might expect more often. Zero. 0. 0.2. 0. Must have 1, that was good. Hitting the ammunition supplies. 0. Leaving him at 5.3, so he's still a stubborn infantry company in defences, but we've got so much going against it now that we're just going to pile in there. Again, probably overkill, but not fast. DR wasn't that much of overkill though. It's useful to do it like that because with a die roll of 12, so you can now pile in mechanized units. Okay, well it's 56. We've yet to do this top section here, but I think that's really telling Now we've made bridgeheads over the Suez in 2 places now. So we've now sort of got it like that. And I think that's still going to be a good route through, but taking either of these is just as good, and we do have this, so we could possibly go into there. That's really interesting. Okay, well, there's still more Egyptian turn, but I'm up to 57 minutes, so that's my maximum on this YouTube type thingy I'm doing. These are still looking pretty tough. We've still got a fair amount of artillery. Interesting to see how the artillery pans out over the next turn, because one side's going to start to basically lose all its artillery and the other side will have whatever it's got left, and that will be the result. But I think as soon as the Israelis get their air power on, which is another 3 turns, the Egyptian artillery is going to be history. Okay, I'll speak to you later. Cheerio.